before we put in the patio. I took out the tree. And even more impressive, this is Robert Mondavi at about age 90. So just to show you what an incredibly vibrant man he was. There's Mr. Mondavi in the latter years. This is what the vineyards look like now. This is how they'll look in a month. Absolutely gorgeous, late September, October. We are still picking grapes because that's really when most of the Cabernet is coming in. So a lot of picking late season. The question you probably have is, how do you know when to pick? You send your winemaker out in the vineyard and she tastes the grapes, tastes them for flavor, looks at the color, crunches on the seeds, looks at the condition of the vine, and says, tomorrow we should pick this block. The majority of our grapes are picked by hand. You never see the pickers because you don't get up early enough. Nobody picks grapes in the heat of the day. They pick grapes in the very early morning. This is Cabernet Sauvignon that they're picking. And unlike most wineries that are going to dump them into a larger container, we're going to leave them in these little tiny yellow boxes. And we're going to do that so that everything that comes into this part of the winery is going to be treated very, very gently. No breaking, no bruising. Grapes are brought up in the freight elevators on either side of us. Somebody actually got in the elevator to make that shot. I thought that was cool. And then before we start any of the winemaking, we want to look at all the grapes again. We want to make sure there's no moldy clusters, raisins, rocks, cell phones, shoes. All that stuff has to get picked out. We also want to knock the grapes off the stems. So we have a machine that does that. It's called the de-stemmer. And I want you to notice that it fits directly over the tank. So rather than doing that outside and pumping everything, everything is going to go directly into the fermenter, nice and gently. This is important for the wine quality. We're going to add some yeast. Yeast are going to convert the sugar into alcohol. And it's probably going to take them about 10 days to get through the sugar in this particular batch of grapes. Yeast also produce carbon dioxide. And that's a little bit of a problem for us because the carbon dioxide keeps pushing the skins to the top. We need the skins down there in the wine so that we can extract the color. So we're going to do what's called a pump over. Take wine from the bottom of the tank and pump it over the top, circulating the wine through the skins. After about 40 days in the tank, we're done with the soaking. So we're going to drain the wine out. And then we're going to actually crawl inside the tank and shovel the skins out. So here you see the wine being sent downstairs for the small barrels. And somebody's crawled inside the tank to put all the skins in a big basket. And then we're going to press the remaining wine out of those skins. So we don't want to throw those skins away just yet, but later they will be used as compost. So it's a nice complete circle. So when the winemaking is finished, the winemaking team will then spend months in the laboratory tasting all of these little batches that we've made and figuring out how to put the pieces together. Which ones go into the reserve Cabernet, which ones go into the Napa Cabernet. And then the very last part of this, it's not super loud, but I'm going to stop talking because I'd like you to hear Mr. Mondavi's philosophy on how we make wine. So listen carefully.
With all the new technology that we are learning how to make our wine with more layers of flavor, more gentle flavor, and all. We are a long ways to go yet.
All the technology we have now, we're learning to make our wines with more gentle flavors, with more layers of flavor.
I think the other thing worth noting that Arliss and I know is Mr. Mondavi was about 90 in that interview. And to have the opportunity to work with someone who at that point in their life is saying, there's more to do. Let's get back to work. There's more things to figure out. This is the genius of this man. He was constantly thinking and constantly like, how can we improve? How can we make better wines? That was Robert Mondavi, who would have been 100 this year, by the way.